What's going on, guys? This is the Crypto Jarhead again, taking you through a sample Chrysos plan. Now, this is actually a plan I sat down with a fellow wolf, happens to live in the same town I do. We got together, put our heads together, and what's going on is that he's got $10,000 that he's dropping into Chrysos, but he's not really sure what to do next. So we went through, I think we came up with like 4 or 5 different plans that day of different options he could take at different points, different price points, to see kind of where his money would be at and when. And this is the one that we settled on. So I'm going to go ahead and take his name off of all this stuff. But it is just another example of a plan forming that is not just, sell half, lend the other half on day one, or wait until it hits $30 and then, sell half and lend half or whatever. A little bit more in-depth of a strategy here. Trying to maximize his profit as much as we can without just waiting for some magic, unbelievable number like, $100 a token or something crazy like that. So let's go ahead and get on into this. He's going to start with $10,000. We calculated at 5,000 tokens at $2 a piece because he was waiting for Coinbase to go ahead and hit his account before he could send it to his Exodus, and then from there send it to Chrysos. So it looked like he was going to miss obviously he had missed the 65, 70 cent buy-ins. He'd missed the dollar buy-ins. When we got together, it was at $1.65, and we weren't sure if he was going to be able to get in at that $1.85 price point or not. Maybe it was going to be $1.65. So we just went ahead and calculated it at $2. That way it's worst case scenario. So he's actually going to have more tokens than this at the end of everything. But the plan is going to stay the same. He also has a couple of friends of his that are getting into Chrysos as well. I think he said he had 4 or 5 guys that are signing up under him, dropping various amounts, but he already worked it out. He said he's getting 2,800 referral tokens, so we added that into the plan. So day one, it hits the internal exchange where they're opening it up at $14 a token. He's immediately just going to sell his referral tokens, and he's going to pull almost 40 grand out of that, $39,200 to be exact. At that point, he's going to lend 2,000 tokens. It's going to be $28,000 loan at 1.5% interest a day is $420. He liked that number. It's a special number for a lot of people, but he liked that number, so that's what we're going with. Once he has lent those 2,000 of his initial 5,000 tokens, he's going to stake the remaining 3,000 tokens, and he's going to wait until Chrysos hits $28 a token, at which point his 3,000 tokens will be worth 84 grand. He's going to lend 1,000 of those tokens for a total of $28,000 at the 1.5% interest a day. Is going to give him an additional $420 a day, doubling his daily interest that he can withdraw. He's still going to have 2,000 tokens staked at this point. Or he's still going to have 2,000 tokens to stake at this point. It's going to be more than that because of the way staking works, but it's an unknown variable. We don't know how many tokens he's going to have, so we just went with what we knew. So in reality, he's initially going to stake more than, he's going to stake 3,000 the first time, a little over 2,000 the second time that he goes to stake. And he's going to go ahead and wait until it hits $56 a token. Those 2,000 tokens will be worth $112,000. Like I just said, it's going to be worth more because he's going to have more than 2,000 tokens, but we don't know how long it's going to take. Thus, we do not know how many tokens, we cannot know how many tokens he will have at that point. Once it hits $56 a token, though, he's going to lend 1,339 tokens for a $75,000 loan. Now, that's going to get him $1,125 a day just from that loan alone. Which will bring him to a grand total of just shy of $2 grand a day in interest, $1,965. He's pretty happy with that. I would be too. And I'd be ecstatic. I'd be jumping through the roof, to be honest with you. At which point he's going to go ahead and sell the remaining 661 tokens plus whatever he got from staking for at least $37,000 and $37,000. As a bonus, he's paying himself for his patience, which I think is a really good thing to do. Now, with Chrysos, they are going to release the capital interest at the end of your loan in tokens, not in the dollar amount divided by the price of the token the day that it is released. So what he's going to do is he's just going to go ahead and relend each loan as the capital interest is returned. Now, we don't know what the price of Chrysos is going to be on those days, so we have no idea, but hopefully it'll be more than the $14 price point, the $28 price point, and the $56 price point. So these numbers should all go up. His daily interest should just increase as this goes along. Keep in mind, he is still withdrawing every day. So he is made, if we're assuming a 6-month-long loan, his initial loan will have made him 56 plus. His initial loan will have made him, can't math right, 70 grand instead of 28,000 on just selling day one. The second loan will have made him the same, and the third loan will have made him about $225,000. Well, no, less than that, but around $200,000 instead of just 75. So he has already made way more money than he would have just selling it all at these price points. So he's just going to kind of keep rolling that one more time. He's comfortable at that point, spinning the wheel one more time. We went ahead and just said that we were going to pick a date where it was a cash out date. We picked Halloween because it's easy and it happens to be a major holiday. It'll be easy to remember. And at that point, the loans will have been going for about 10 months. So he should be getting fairly close to that first loan, getting his capital release again for the second time. Now, after Halloween, keep in mind it's been running for 10 months at this point. Well, 9 months, because it's not launching until February, but it'll have been running for 9 months at this point. And all of these platforms do have an expiration date. None of these things last forever. Maybe one in the future will. Maybe they'll perfect it and it'll just keep going and going and going. But that's not the reality of the world that we live in today. So we're assuming it has an expiration date and we're hoping it's sometime in 2019. However, after Halloween, as his capital release is available to him, he's just going to go ahead and sell that out as another bonus every couple months or whenever these loans are done. Now, we're going to go ahead and back up to day one and what he's going to do with his initial ICO winnings, that 40 grand that he pulled out up front. He's going to take 10 grand of it and he's just going to hide it under his mattress, somewhere in a safe bank account. He's not going to touch his money. That's the money that he had beforehand, so he's going to put that in a safe place. It's gone. 9.2K is going to be his play money to do whatever he wants with, take his wife out, go buy, 9 grand's probably not enough to buy a new car, but it'll be a pretty good down payment on one if he wanted to. You could certainly buy a used car for that. The point is, that's his to play around. He earned that money. He's going to spend some of it, which is a good thing to do. Otherwise, why make all this money in the first place? Then he's going to take $20,000 of that initial win, and he's going to reinvest those into the next ICOs. So he's either going to go ahead and gamble again on just one ICO, and he's going to put all 20 into it, which I wouldn't recommend. But if he feels strongly enough about the next ICO that he finds, he might go ahead and do that. He might have 2 ICOs that he feels really strongly about. So if that's the case, he's going to put 10 in each one of them. And if there's none that really, really strike him as being super solid, that he's willing to really gamble on, he's going to pick 4 new ICOs within the next month or 2 to go ahead and put $5,000 in. Looks like I forgot to add the 5K. He's going to go ahead and, diversify it, spread it around like peanut butter and jelly, find 4 of them, and he's going to pop $5,000 into each at the beginning of the ICO to go ahead and repeat this process. Now, each one of these ICOs is not going to hit for as much as his initial one will, but he should have 4 of them if he does the 4 at $5,000, which he's fine with. So that right there is just one example of something that you can do with your Chrysos if you're not entirely sure what to do with it. Now, clearly, this is not baby baller territory, so I was just helping him with the math because that's what I do. I will get there one day, but that day is not today, and I'm mostly missing out on Chrysos. My own personal plan is, I went over this in the last video, I've got less than 100 tokens. I'm just going to go ahead and pump and dump and use that money towards getting into a couple other ICOs next month. I hope this was a little bit of a help to some of you that were kind of wondering what to do next. Didn't really have a solid game plan, wanted to explore some other options. You can go ahead and take all of this and start plugging in your own numbers, your initial investment, whatever you got them at, to find out how many tokens you'll have. If you have referral tokens, go ahead and throw those in there and figure out what you want to do from there. I kind of like this setup for a long-term plan because it gives you an initial small little lending to get going, so you've got some money coming back into your pocket. Once it hits a certain price point, you're just going to increase the amount of daily interest that you're getting every day while you're really waiting for you're holding back on a lot of your tokens for your main price point to hit. That's the big loan that you're really going after. But this way it kind of protects you, so you have some money rolling in the entire time. Plus you've already won on day one and pulled out 3 to 4 to 5 times your initial investment. So it's just a win, 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 and then a big win. Somewhere down the line, looks like my phone's going to die. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. In the meantime, stay hungry, go get that money, and happy hunting, wolves.